Not only has there been this curious relationship between Britain and the United States, that Britain and the Holy Land and Israel, which you cannot explain with normal tools of political analysis, but also with the United States and Israel. Which political scientist there is in the world today who can offer a rational explanation for the curious relationship that exists between the United States and Israel? And modern Western civilization has armed Israel. Transfer of technology, transfer of military technology, massive economic aid, massive financial aid, to the extent that Israel is now a superpower. And to the extent that Israel is now poised to take over from the United States as the ruling state in the world. And that an attack on Iran is now going to inevitably lead to World War. That after Iran and after Pakistan and after the Arabs, the Zionists are going to turn on China and Russia, to make sure that China and Russia also bend down their knees and accept Israel, so that Israel can become the ruling state in the world. So Russia and China would know, today it's them, tomorrow it's us. And they're not going to wait until tomorrow to recognize that. The minute Iran is attacked, they will recognize that the threshold has been crossed and that we are now moving inevitably towards nuclear war. We meet at a very dangerous moment in our history and in the history of the world, to address you on the subject of implications of a Zionist-Israeli attack on Iran, which now appears to be not only fairly certain, but also just around the corner. We say that Israel wants to attack Iran because Israel ultimately wants to rule the world. Because the Zionists want to rule the world. Because the Judeo-Christian Zionist European Alliance wants to deliver to the state of Israel the status of ruling state in the world.
If the Holy Land was liberated by a British army in November 1917, and that is just a chance military event, it happened by chance. If British rule over the Holy Land from 1918 to 1948 was just by chance. If the return of the Israelite people to the Holy Land 2,000 years after they had been expelled, and 2,000 years after they had been prohibited to return and they're back, to reclaim it as their own, if this is also by chance, if the birth of a state of Israel in 1948 in the Holy Land is also by chance, and if the growth of Israel to such a state of power that Israel appears to me, and of course only God doesn't make mistakes, Bishop, appears to me to be poised to take over from the United States very soon as the ruling state in the world. If all of these things can happen by chance, then Bishop, the cow can also jump over the moon.
But now, the United States takes over from Britain as the new ruling state in the world. In the same way that Britain had a mysterious relationship with the Holy Land and with the Jews, the United States now has that mysterious relationship with the Holy Land and with the Jews. The first country in the world to recognize
the state of Israel is the United States of America. It's not by accident. We are located at that moment in time when a day which is like a month is about to end.
The messenger of Allah, Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, informed us of the release of Dajjal into the world during his lifetime. He went on to say that when Dajjal is released into the world, he would live on earth for 40 days. One day like a year, one day like a month, one day like a week, and the rest of his days like your days. The analysis conducted in this book is such that it argues that when Dajjal was in a day which is like a year, Britain was his headquarters. And when Dajjal moved to a day which is like a month, the United States of America became his headquarters. And finally when Dajjal is going to be in a day which is like a week, he comes back home to the Holy Land. He comes back home to the Holy Land.
The Blessed Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam declared, every prophet warned his people about the Antichrist, about Dajjal, the false Messiah. We were told about a divine promise which was communicated to the Israelite people, that Allah was going to send a prophet who would be known as Al-Masih, the Messiah, and who would rule the world with justice, confirmed by Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. He would be Hakimun Adil. He would rule the world with justice. Rejected him. Why did they reject the Messiah? Answer, because Allah tested them. And because they were seeing with only one eye, they failed the test. They said, وَنَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنْ هَذَا, his mother had committed that enormous sin. And they said that this baby was a bastard. And then when they saw him die on the cross before their very eyes, he came down. Was it no, they did not kill him. No, they did not crucify. Story from the blessed lips of the Messenger of Allah. What is the story? Tamim al-Dari and some 30 or 40 of his companions went on board a ship. And then the storms came and blew the ship for a whole month before they arrived at an island. And when they got on shore, they got off the ship and they went on shore, they were confronted by a very hairy creature. Plenty hair, so much hair, you could hardly tell which side is head and which side is tail. And then this creature spoke and said, I am Jassasa, spy. Surah Al-Hujurat, وَلَا تَجَسَّسُوا, do not spy. So this is an island with a lot of people who examine spying. When Israel becomes the ruling state in the world, then the Jews will say, the golden age has come again. The prophecy is being fulfilled. But they're being deceived in the grandest and most magnificent deception mankind has ever witnessed. No, this is not the golden age. You've been deceived by Al-Masih al-Dajjal. When a day which is like a week has come to an end, And we will know that because the water in the Sea of Galilee will have dried. And that is the time when these events are now going to take place. The advent of the Imam al-Mahdi.
For centuries, the Sea of Galilee has inspired believers the world over. The waters the Bible tells us Jesus walked on, the shores where he performed his miracles, a place of beauty, religion and legend, but today on the brink of disaster.
The water should be above our head, and the tragedy is that we don't need to be Jesus Christ anymore to walk here on the Sea of Galilee.
Environmentalist Guidon Bromberg and I could walk the floor of the lake because its waters have retreated hundreds of yards.
When the Sea of Galilee dries up, that's the time when Israel will no longer rule the world. I love his studies. Guess what? Because George Bush could watch the Sea of Galilee going down. And Tony, what's his name? Yes. And Ariel, what's his name? Sharon. Yeah. And the Jews? They can watch the Sea of Galilee going down and drying up. And they can realize that the moment is... Goodbye to bad